I am going to spend the next few minutes talking through how to use the Quantitative Skills mapping tool. Now, if you've had a look at the QS in Science website, you might be familiar with the case studies. Now, in our case studies, we've used text to describe the background and the situation of where quantitative skills are embedded into various courses. Now, a significant component is this diagram. Now, this diagram is a really effective way to summarize potentially quite complex ideas. So we're making that PowerPoint, we use a PowerPoint template to create these diagrams. So we're making that available so that it might encourage science departments to document, analyze and clarify ideas and concepts related to QS and where they fit into your current curriculum. Now, the QS in Science team use this tool to share our findings, as I said, as seen in the case studies. So we're hoping that by using this PowerPoint template, it will help support some of the initial discussions in your own school or department. Now, just a very brief background, Bachelor of Science programs tend to be flexible and students typically get a lot of choice. Now, within each program, that is within each major, there is a general structure of first year, second year and third year, which is reflected in our diagram. Now, these units are where attention might be focused, that is, identifying the critical pathway within each major. These are the high impact units where quantitative skills might be embedded, and it's more likely to be easier to approach this task if it's kept simple and straightforward to begin with. As an example, just pick one thing, one degree program, and focus on this, and hopefully the process won't be quite so overwhelming. The idea is to identify where the students are at, what is their pathway, and the resulting diagram should be able to help focus in on that critical pathway, and you should be able to ask questions such as what is the critical pathway, where are the quantitative skills embedded. So in this example, I might just show you a word version of it. So without going into too much detail, we've got a bit of stuff happening over here at first level, where there's a highly recommended interdisciplinary science mathematics unit, which is this one here, which is taught by the Maths and Science department, which is integrated. And there's also a statistics unit, which is taught by the Maths department or Stats department. And finally, at first level, there is a chemistry unit where QS components are embedded, and it's taught by the relevant science discipline. Now, at second level, there's a significant unit, system physiology, which is this unit code, where QS components are embedded, and it's taught by the Maths department. They're taught by the Maths department. So again, we're not going into a great deal of detail. It's just identifying what is the critical pathway, where are the QS components embedded, and then finally at third level, there's a capstone unit, and it's required of all biomedical science majors in the Bachelor of Science, and it features a substantial QS component. It's taught by the Maths department. So that's just a quick piece of background. I might show you the actual PowerPoint now.
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, I'm not starting with a blank. What I might do is I'll just delete these. Now, if you're familiar with using PowerPoint, this won't be any sort of challenge. But we've got 3 slides, and in fact the instructions that I'm talking through are featured within the notes anyway. So we've got a blank, and we've got some objects and we've got a sample. But if you've looked at any of the case studies, each one of the case studies acts as a sample. So all we do, just supposing we want this purple box, we select it with one click, copy, come over to the blank, paste it down. Now it's not likely that it'll paste in the spot that we want, so we have to position it. So there we go. So that's where QS are taught by the science department. Now we need an arrow, so we click on the arrow and we're going to need some text. So I can shift click and copy, and then I paste, and then I just use the keyboard or the mouse to position this component. So as you can see, it's very straightforward, but you will obviously have to do some prior thinking, prior analysis. You might even create a few different versions depending on your circumstances, but the idea is just to keep it simple initially. There's the unit code. Might neaten this one up, and it's just repeating that process, going back, selecting the appropriate object, and then pasting it down, and then positioning it. Now once you've finished, you can either print it out directly from PowerPoint, or what we have found is particularly useful, I'm working on a Mac, so I can save as pictures, or I have the option I can save as, and I can access the picture mode there. But if you're working on a PC, you should have a similar type of setup. I'm going to select PNG as the file format, and I'm going to save it. Now I think I'm saving all of the slides, but I didn't need to save all of them. I just need to save this first one. So I'm going to launch a new Word document. Let's type in some text. Insert picture from file. And I think it should be this one. Insert. There it is there. So it's as simple as that. So once it's in Word, I can save it off as a PDF. I could email it to colleagues. I could print it. A whole range of things just to get the conversation started.